Hello and welcome to New Thought Talk. I'm your host, Reverend Stephen Walling from the Spiritual Awareness Center located in beautiful downtown Madera. And, you know, doing what I do, sometimes I have such an incredible opportunity to interact with some wonderful beings. And today's guest is one of those wonderful beings. I've had the opportunity to be listening to him through the Unity FM online radio show for quite a while. And I just so happened was referred to him by John Miller, a guest we had on the show here a while back. And my guest today is Reverend Gaylon McDowell. He is the Assistant Senior Minister at Christ Universal Temple. He is the host of Truth Transformed, which airs on Unity FM radio Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. West Coast time. And he's a wonderful teacher. Seems to be a great guy, and I'm really happy to have him on the show. Welcome, Gaylon. How you doing?
Thanks. I appreciate it, Steve. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir. You know, when I was talking to John, I had him out here in March. We previewed his latest movie, and you are in that movie. And he was saying, "Well, do you know Gaylon McDowell?" I said, "Oh yeah." He says, "You need to get a hold of him. He'd be a great guest." And so that all evolved, and we finally made it. It took us a little time. But, you know, Gaylon, even today I was listening to your most current series that you're doing in Truth Transformed, which is based on Charles Fillmore book, Christian Healing. You're just an incredible teacher, my friend. You put it out there. I love the common sense that you bring to your show, the understanding, the depth. You always bring color, through other books and stuff. So I got to ask you, how did Gaylon McDowell get to be the senior assistant minister at Johnny Coleman's home church there in Chicago and have his own show on Unity FM? That's got to be a heck of a story.
Well, yes, it is. It's quite the story. Well, my mother read a lot of metaphysical, New Thought, and different types of books as a kid. I didn't pay a lot of attention at the time. And I can remember in 1992, I was 20 years old, around Thanksgiving. I think it was the day before Thanksgiving, or around that time. My mother was cooking, and my room was right next to the kitchen. So she said, "Would you play this tape for me and put it on your stereo so I can listen to it while I was cooking?" I was like, okay. And it was a tape of the motivator Les Brown.
Yeah. Les
Brown, many people don't know, was actually originally an ordained minister for Reverend Coleman under the Universal Foundation for Better Living, and decided to go the motivational route, which of course he has mastered.
Yeah, he's very good.
He's a great guy.
Yeah,
and the lesson was the courage to live your dreams, and it was a lesson that he taught as a sermon at Christ Universal Temple. And I was in my room listening to him saying, "Man, this guy makes a lot of sense." And I listened to it again. So, "Mom, you have any other material like this? Any other tapes?" So she let me hear Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, who wrote the book at the time of Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. Mm-hmm. And he had a lesson called It Was There For You. And he was basically saying, if he created this scenario, if you met your maker, quote unquote, and you start asking all of these questions about why you didn't have the life that you desired, God's answer would be for every question, it was there for you. And then I asked about anything else, and she let me hear a tape by Reverend Coleman called God and Man. And Reverend Coleman was doing a series called Guidelines for a Master. And it blew me away. And I wore that tape out. And eventually, at the beginning of the next year in January, I decided to come to CUT. When I heard Reverend Coleman, I just knew I was home. I can't explain it. When I heard her voice, it resonated in my soul. She said, "Get in the class." So I signed up for the class, got the books. And between actually having the experience of getting in the class, again, I met Christ Universal Temple all of 3 weeks. I end up having a health experience, to make a long story short, where some Vicks vapor rub I put on my chest for a chest cold activated a dormant asthma, and I almost made my transition, like literally, not exaggerating. Went to the hospital, was there 5 days, barely breathed, the whole nine, and all the protocols that go along with that. But I can remember when I left to go to the hospital, and when I got there, they rush you right in when you can't breathe, which is interesting,
Yeah.
I grabbed my book. It was 2 books. It was A New Thought Christian by William Warch and A New Way of Thinking by Charles Robb.
Uh-huh.
And I can remember telling my mother, according to these books, I don't have to have this if I don't want to. Now, I got tubes everywhere, oxygen in my nose, stuff on my fingers, on my chest, the whole nine. 20 years old, like, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
To make a long story short, I got out of that, and I just immersed myself in it. Went to class. Reverend Wilmetta Harrell was my first teacher, and I was studying we call Basic Truth Principles, which was the 2 books I had. Studying everything I could get my hand on, reading when I couldn't, because I had to get an understanding, because I wanted to heal it. Because Reverend Coleman was saying, you don't have to be sick, you don't have to be poor, you don't have to have lack, you don't have to. I mean, she was so convinced.
Yeah,
it convinced me, but I didn't have the understanding. So I just became immersed. I was reading everything I could get my hands on. When I say reading, I'm talking about 3 to 5 books a week. Anything, listening to everything I could, going back and forth, working my Walkman, everything you can think of, Walkman. That's a throwback term. To make a long story short, I got a full healing to the point to where I didn't have to have the 2 inhalers that I had. They told me I would have to have for the rest of my life, and the pills that I had that were supposed to help that process along in case of things got bad.
Mm-hmm.
So in the midst of it, I'm just taking classes.
Right.
And I didn't know that everybody there didn't read and weren't as diligent as I was at the time. And I can remember a teacher telling me, you need to be an intensive, which at the time was a teacher counselor training program, which is similar to the religious science level of practitioner.
Yeah, okay.
And so I went and talked to one of my mentors about it, and he told me to get into a class, and Reverend Joe Hill, and he told me to go talk to the director of Johnny Coleman Institute at the time, was Reverend Dr. Helen Carey.
Mm-hmm.
Got into the courses for the 2 years, 3 nights a week, the whole 9, studied, and became a teacher. And for the Universal Foundation for Better Living, it was added to the faculty of the Johnny Coleman Institute. And I was just working, and one day Reverend Coleman heard me speak at an orientation for new members. And a few days later, I was getting a call from her saying, I want you to preach. Now, I wasn't a minister, and I wasn't even in the ministerial program. But she had a lot of faith in me. And she seeded in me, and she would put me up in front of her congregation. And I'm talking about, this is 2000.
Yeah, that's a big...
I'm 28 years old, 27, 28 or whatever, not even in the ministerial program. Yet I'm in front of her people preaching with her and the Les Browns and the Yana Von Zants and the, Rocco Ericos and, Dennis Kimbroughs. It was amazing.
May I say, holy smokes, my friend.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally. I look back on it now and I say, wow, she didn't have to do that. She had already made it. She had so many established ministers.
Right.
But she believed in me, and for that I'll be eternally grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Not only her, but many of the people who took time to make sure that I developed. But I was teachable.
Yeah,
I wanted to learn. I asked questions. I read. I didn't let anybody outwork me. To make a long story short, her comptroller at the time, Walter Robinson, asked me to meet with me and when I found out he met with me, he had been having conversations with the COO about bringing me on staff.
Oh, man.
On staff, I entered the ministerial program, and at this point, I just worked my way up. So when Reverend Derek B. Wells, who's the current senior minister, he added me as the senior assistant minister.
All right, Gaylon, hold that thought. We're going to cut away to our first break, and we'll continue the story when we come back. This is good stuff, my friend.
All right.
All right, let's see it.
Open house this Saturday in the Tower District. This house is located at 1244 North Echo, 3 houses north of Olive in the heart of the Tower District. Stop by this Saturday between 1 and 3 p.m. or call 486-6758 or go to MikeBriggsProperties.com. See all Tower District listings by all agents at TowerDistrictProperties.com.
MPS Security, Fresno's premier private security and investigative services. They exceed expectations. Call them at 559-478-7747.
We are conveniently located across from Bullard High School on North Palm Avenue in Fig Garden. Morales Wellness Dental offers quality-oriented family dental care and service in a personalized and comfortable manner. As you enter our office, you'll always be greeted by our warm, caring dental team and will be invited to relax in our finely appointed lobby. We have 7 patient treatment suites that feature monitors for your in-op entertainment and diagnostic review. Our comfortable hygienist suites are the ideal setting for regular cleanings and checkups. As safety is our utmost priority, all instruments are put through our modern sterilization center. Furthermore, our sedation suite offers you both comfort and peace of mind during advanced dental procedures. And for your privacy, we have 2 separate patient consultation offices. Take the worry out of your next dental visit by calling us today. Experience our commitment to excellence, respect, and honesty at Morales Wellness Dental.
Whether your wedding is rustic, vintage, formal, traditional, casual, elegant, or just a little outside the box, Black Tie and Bridal Lace has everything you need to dress your entire wedding party. Are you currently shopping for solar? Give Solar Negotiators a call. You see, what they do is they fill downtime at a reduced rate to make sure that you always get the best deal. Don't find out later that you could have bought your solar for thousands of dollars less. Call Solar Negotiators.
If you're looking to go solar with confidence and have someone represent you in this transaction, give Solar Negotiators a call at 844-OWN-SOLAR or visit solarnegotiators.com.
Looking for a travel agent? Look no further. Bianca Echeveste can make your travel dream a reality, even on a budget. Visit ilovemytravelbiz.com or call Bianca at 559-284-2217.
Marty, the concrete guy, specializes in all types of concrete work. Contact Marty at theconcreteguy.com or call him at 559-718-9952. Located on Avenue 9, Toca Madera Winery's beautiful tasting room overlooks undulating hills covered with majestic vines. A perfect place to taste wine. Call Toca Madera Winery at 474-8286 or visit them on the web at tocamaderawinery.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Well, welcome back. It's New Thought Talk. I'm your host, Reverend Steve Walling from the Spiritual Awareness Center located in beautiful downtown Madera. My guest for today is Reverend Gaylon McDowell from Christ Universal Temple located in beautiful downtown Chicago. And Gaylon, before we went to the break, you were giving us your story as to how you became the senior assistant minister there. So continue, please.
Okay, well, basically, to make a long story short, what I was basically stating is, you know, when I came on staff here, besides teaching classes, preaching, I also worked in the bookstore, became a bookstore manager, also ended up working as director of outreach, many roles. And the Reverend Derek B. Wells was chosen to be Reverend Coleman's successor in 2011, April of 2011. And in April of 2012, or April or May of 2012, he promoted me to the senior assistant minister, or some churches call it executive minister, but it's the same term.
Right.
So I help support Reverend Wells as he continues to hold the baton of the legacy of the Christ Universal Temple and the Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman, giving to people what she taught us, helping spread this message.
And that's an incredible message. It's an incredible position with a lot of responsibility. But besides that, you took on the role as host of Truth Transformed on Unity FM radio. And that's another whole different thing. And you do a whiz-bang job on there. It's a powerful show.
Well, I appreciate that. Yes. Well, I started to do that show. Actually, that's a funny story as well. A friend of mine, Reverend Jamie Sanders, asked me to come on his show on Unity Online Radio, which is, by the way, www.unity.fm.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the name of his show at the time because he's not active on Unity Online Radio currently. But he asked me to come on, and he said, hey, you know, can you come on in a couple of days? I need a guest. I said, sure, no problem. He's a great guy. And while I was on the show, I guess the person who was listening, who ran the Unity Online Radio at the time, was listening, called Jamie and said, who was that guy that was on the show? He's really good. And you know, I ended up, Jamie reached out to me, I called her, and we worked it out where, you know, we could do an outreach show, you know, on Unity Online Radio. And my intent for the show is to give a class-like environment online. So we teach actual series of books. I interview people from time to time.
Yeah, but you know, I've gone through and I've been, like I said, I've been a fan of your show, and I've gone through. What was the book? It was What Are You Made Of?
What Are You?
What Are You? That one, your Eckhart Tolle, H. Emily Cady's series that you did, the current one here with Fillmore. You know, you've got just and this, what's so great about this, Gaylon, is for people that don't have easy access to a New Thought Center, but have online access. This is a gift. You know, you can tune in because you've got everything in the archives. You can go. Most of the books that you utilize are easily accessible, oftentimes online for little or no charge. And like I say, you teach just like someone was in a classroom environment. And I can't say enough good things about it. I appreciate the work that you're doing there. You know,
I appreciate that. And for your viewers, you know, I want to let them know that they can download the show via iTunes for free or through the Stitcher mobile app on your smartphones or on your tablets. So you can take me with you everywhere you go.
As a matter of fact, I just finished downloading your current show onto my phone. So, you know, because where I live, we don't always have easy access to, you know, a satellite signal or whatever. But one of the things, you know, there's a lot of gems in your most recent series, and one of the things we were talking about during the break was, as you mentioned when you were sharing your story, that in your early days, you'd gotten sick, you had an asthma issue, you ended up in the hospital. More recently, as you were mentioning in the show, you'd had a neck injury of some sort. And Reverend Johnny had a few words to say to you about that. Why don't you go ahead and share that with us?
Yeah, well, basically, I ended up finding out later, I pinched a nerve in my neck, and it basically took the strength out of my left arm and hand, and which, you know, I'm left-handed, so that was problematic. You know, I had to miss some days from work, and I was on the, you know, painkillers, the steroids, the muscle relaxers. Nothing was doing any good. Reverend was out, I guess, at the time. If she came back, she came to see me. She's like, hey, heard about your neck injury. You know, what's going on, your arm? And I told her, and she listened to it, and she said, okay, now you teach it. You teach healing. You teach people that the Spirit and God working through them can overcome anything. Now, heal it, and I don't want to hear anything else about it.
Yeah, but Gaylon, you know, that's it. We teach it, but there seems sometimes to be a disconnect between people that teach it and people that express it, you know. And I mean, not everybody. When we were talking the other day, you were talking about Joel Goldsmith jumping from the ground to the roof, and, you know, maybe through, like Ernest Holmes, you're walking up the steps. Not everybody can make that jump to the roof, granted, but if you're teaching it, you should be on the stairway at least, you know.
Absolutely.
And, you know, give me your take on that, if you would.
Well, one of the things that I talked about last year when I was at the International Thought Alliance Congress to speak,
yes,
was that we fell so in love with the oneness talk in New Thought that we forgot about the power.
Yes, yes.
That the message, I get, love, and I'm a loving individual. I treat people the way I want to be treated, golden rule, all of that. But if we forget that this power is not this teaching is not a teaching to tell you to conform or be resigned to the way things are, but it's actually telling you that through the power of your transformed consciousness, you can change your life, then we are not teaching New Thought. New Thought is a message of power that you have the ability, through the Christ in you, through God in you, through Spirit in you, as your true nature, through your enlightened, evolved, awakened consciousness, to literally transform your experiences. Healing, prosperity, peace of mind, joy, health, harmony, whatever. And when we forget that we have the ability to change our lives, then we can become resigned to thinking that it's not even worth trying. What difference does it make if I don't think I have the ability to change a thing, if I don't think that it's possible? Too many people, in my opinion, and it's not a criticism, it's an observation, in New Thought are so in love with other aspects of the teaching, we've gotten away from the demonstration of truth. And my favorite statement in all of New Thought is in the Fox statement: there's no such thing as undemonstrated understanding. That's in the book, Sermon on the Mount.
Yes,
the chapter is by their fruits. I tell anybody in New Thought, read that chapter in that book, because he says the acid test for truth is demonstration.
That's it. If you teach that we can demonstrate, and you live in fear of what's going on in the world around you, there's a great disconnect, and you cannot give away what you don't own. And seeing that where I'm at here in this part of California, we've had a kind of a drought, if you will, within New Thought, but there's a resurgent going on now. When we're growing, we're coming out of it. It's kind of like maybe the caterpillar going into the chrysalis stage, but we're getting ready we are in the process of breaking out. But I look around and I see people and I say, you can demonstrate. You don't have to live in fear. There is power. There is presence. It's available for good that you can use as you avail yourself to it. You just got to open up to it. And we can do that. That's our truth. That's living our Christ expression. And, it's just so damn exciting when you realize that. And then and I know you as a minister, particularly in the church that you're in, you've got to see this demonstration take place in the lives of people all over the place. It's just, how beautiful is that?
Yes, it's wonderful. And, one of my spiritual mothers, the Reverend Evelyn Boyd, used to teach us when we were in class, if you were arrested for being a New Thought Christian, would they have enough evidence to convict you?
Oh, I love it. I'm going to steal that one. That's good.
Because when it's all said and done, we're always demonstrating something.
Yes.
That's why I use the term desired demonstration, because to think is to demonstrate. To live is to demonstrate, because your consciousness is always expressing. The key is am I living a life that has experiences that I desire? Because after a while, we just have to start asking ourselves the question, if I am the self-expression of God, why is life looking like this? And I'm not saying that it don't mean you won't have challenges, but if you're dealing with the same challenges that you had 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that means there's no growth in that area of your life. Overcome something.
Yeah, that's it. Life mirrors back to you. And, getting people will come and they'll say, oh, gee, Rev, this is going on and that's going on. I say, well, stop. You don't need to talk to me. You need to go back home. You need to stand in front of the mirror. You need to look in the face of the person, the individual that is the creator of all that you're experiencing, because that's what's mirroring back to you, and they give me a little funny look, and I say, listen, you are a creative being. You were created in the image and the likeness of the divine. It is the creative force and source of all that is. Everything that you do, express, or experience in some way is directly related to the consciousness that you bring to your daily life expression. Go talk to the person that's creating this. And they go, well, okay, but this is the truth. Where do you go?
Absolutely.
You have, I'm getting the signal, we're going to have to cut away the break, but you have, how many members in the congregation there at Christ Universal right now?
Members, around 2,000, on any 2,000, slightly more on any given Sunday. It's around 1,300 to 1,400.
Yeah.
It can dip up as high as 22 to 2,300. We have a 3,000 seat capacity, but as far as people who are on the membership rolls, it's probably closer to 5,000.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they always show up. You know how that goes.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Consistent people who show up.
All right, we'll talk about that when we come back.
All right.
Take care.
Open house this Saturday in the Tower District. This house is located at 1244 North Echo, 3 houses north of Olive in the heart of the Tower District. Stop by this Saturday between 1 and 3 p.m. or call 486-6758 or go to MikeBriggsProperties.com. See all Tower District listings by all agents at TowerDistrictProperties.com.
This segment is brought to you by Jonathan Rooker of the Law Office of Nuttall and Coleman. We help good people during tough times. Call 441-0441.
Black MP makes up for nutrients lost to filtering, pasteurization, and processing, and it provides the probiotics and humic and fulvic minerals that can lead to optimized functioning of all the body's cells and systems, increased energy levels, and overall enhanced health and well-being. A scoop of Black MP in 16 ounces of water once or twice a day can help you achieve your health and performance goals. For more information, go to our website, blackmp.net, or call us at 559-799-9879.
A reverse mortgage can help your money last longer and help you leave a larger estate for your heirs. To learn how, call Patrick Furlong at 559-213-7767 or visit Patrick Furlong, reversemortgagedirect.com.
No matter what you drive, sooner or later you're going to need tires. That means you. It's Wheel King, your custom wheel and tire headquarters for over 20 years. Hundreds of custom wheels and tires in stock all the time. Shocks, brake jobs, alignments, and lowering done the right way. The King has got you covered.
Inside the wheel, see the King. No one else can get attention.
Call 225-KING. Blackstone, just off the Shaw. It's Wheel King.
Looking for work? Tired of minimum wage? For as low as $200, become certified as a forklift driver at the Certified Forklift Training Center. Call 559-325-8097 or visit cftc.net.
At Loss Prevention and Safety Consulting, we collaborate with business owners to protect their profits from theft, fraud, and other financial misappropriations. Call us today for a free initial consultation and put your profits back to work for you.
You enter this door with expired tags. Beyond is another dimension, a dimension of regulations, a dimension of long waits. You have reached the registration zone. What looks like an ordinary shop is actually Mitchell Smog, located in the heart of the Tower District, a few minutes from the DMV. Mitchell Smog offers your vehicle a STAR-certified smog inspection. So remember Mitchell Smog when you need to pass through the registration zone.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back to New Thought Talk. I am your host, Rev Steve Walling from the Spiritual Awareness Center, located in beautiful downtown Madera. And my guest today is the Assistant Senior Minister of Christ Universal Temple, Gaylon McDowell. Reverend McDowell has a show on Unity FM online called Truth Transformed, and I highly recommend it for all of you, of my audience out there that are connected up. It's a great show, and you can connect to the show via the Unity FM webpage, and he's got a great archive for going back and researching a lot of the stuff that he teaches. It's powerful stuff. Gaylon, you are at Christ Universal Temple. Reverend Johnny Coleman established that in 1956. You were saying she was a dynamic minister, teacher, individual, and from her start and her growing that, Universal Foundation for Better Living came out of that. Now, my first experience with UFBL was, do you know Reverend Peggy in Las Vegas? In Kinnear in Las Vegas?
Yes, she's a friend.
Is she?
Oh,
yeah. Well, I had an opportunity to take an online Old Testament class from Reverend Peggy, got to know her a bit. She's a great lady. And
yes.
So that was my first introduction to UFBL, and I didn't realize that they were a part originally. Now, this is a long time ago of the New Thought family, but UFBL you've got a large footprint. You reach out into a lot of areas. Well, tell us a little bit about the organization, if you would, please.
Well, the Universal Foundation for Better Living was established in 1974 after Reverend Coleman left the Association of Unity Churches.
Right.
Christ Universal Temple used to be Christ Unity Temple.
Uh-huh.
And when she left for various reasons, that would be too long to get involved with that on the show, she, along with some other churches, created a foundation that she led up until about the mid-1990s. Then the Reverend Dr. Mary Tumpkin, who was the senior minister of our affiliate church in Miami Gardens, Florida, she became the head of the foundation up until 2013 when she made her transition.
Yeah.
The current president is the Reverend Dr. Sheila McKeithen, who has the Universal Foundation, who leads the Universal Foundation for Better Living Church in Kingston, Jamaica. So, we're in Chicago, we're in LA area. The Reverend Della Reese founded a church in the Los Angeles area. She just recently retired, actually, and she is the successor of the Reverend Sherry James. New York area, we're in Toronto. Again, I mentioned Florida, Baltimore, Ohio, Michigan. We have study groups in other areas as well. We have several churches in the Chicagoland area. And, the Universal Foundation for Better Living, was the platform that Reverend Coleman used to ordain and license ministers, teachers. For instance, I'm a licensed teacher for the Universal Foundation for Better Living. I'm an ordained and licensed minister for the Universal Foundation for Better Living, and also a member of the board of directors.
Are you really?
Yes.
Well, you are a man that wears many hats, huh?
Yeah. So I'm all in. I work at a UFBL church. I'm on the UFBL board. I teach in the Johnny Coleman Institute. I teach in the Johnny Coleman Theological Seminary, which is where we teach the teachers and ministers. I'm a part of the what we call licensing ordination or credentials department. So no, if I actually sit down and start to think about how many things I'm connected to in the midst of ministry, it's a lot. I'm also the district president for INTA for Illinois and Wisconsin, but I need to get busy doing some work in that position.
Okay.
So I say all that to say I'm busy now, but I will say this. One of the things that Reverend Coleman really believed in is in the presentation, the simplistic, practical application of truth. So what we emphasize in UFBL, the Universal Foundation for Better Living, is the practicality of New Thought. Yes, we're going to give you the metaphysics. Yeah. We're going to give you practical application. That's our calling card. That's what we want to be known for. We teach it correctly, and we're going to give you practical application. So whether you're walking in the church in LA, Chicago, Miami, Trinidad, Guyana, Jamaica, the Bahamas, or Toronto, or wherever their centers or study groups or discussion groups, you're going to hear a consistent, practical, New Thought message.
And that's powerful, and it's important. There is a section in the Science of Mind, what we call our textbook. It's the final conclusion at the end of the general summary, and the first couple sentences go something like this. Ernest Holmes says, "I would rather see a student of this philosophy put it into practice than to learn all the words of wisdom that have ever been printed." And that ultimately, Gaylon, I believe, is the key, putting it into practice.
Absolutely.
What you can demonstrate, to be true. What you can't demonstrate may or may not be true. And if you are on the journey, if you're on the pathway to creating a life of personal empowerment and self-realization, you've got to stand on firm ground. And the only way you can stand on firm ground is to make each step a forward step in practice. And as you do that, you put these principles, there's principles, and you put them into practice, and they're impersonal. What they'll do for one, they'll do for another, and they're always doing for us, and that's the good and sometimes the not so good. If we're not paying attention, it will come around and kick us in the rear end. So, you have to live consciously. And UFBL and what you do with your Truth Transform, those are the messages. I get it that you put out. I get it that when you deliver your show on Truth Transform, it's clear. When Gaylon McDowell says, he's what is it? He's hammering down on this, or he's barreling down. What's that? Drilling down, yeah. When he says he's drilling down on this, it's time to take out the notepad and make some notes, because there's some serious but simplistically understandable stuff that's coming, tools that people can use. And that's a gift. And you have that gift, and I have no, the word slips my mind, but I understand how you're filling all the different roles that you're filling, because you've got that gift, and it's a divine gift that you have exercised and you have allowed to unfold. That is that Christ consciousness that is available to all of us, but not everybody has exercised it like you have. And what an incredible, like I said at the beginning of the show, a wonderful person that you are, that you're doing this, sharing this, bringing this message to the world. I'm glad that we've had this time. And as a busy person, it took us some time to get to this time today.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. My calendar is pretty tight. We were trying to work it out, but I'm glad we had the opportunity, and hopefully opportunities in the future to be able to stop and drill down on some subjects that that we talk about on the show or in New Thought in general.
I would love to do that, and if you pencil me in on your calendar sometime for some backside conversations, we'll set something up, because I'd love to do that. But for Gaylon McDowell right now, what are we looking at in your immediate future, besides the fact that you've got a 16-year-old daughter that's learning how to drive?
She just, matter of fact, she's turning 16 very soon. She just got her permit, actually, and I took her to a vacant mall lot. I said, okay, let's see what you know how to do, and that worked itself out. But the thing about it is, right now, I'm looking at, I'll be speaking at the International Thought Alliance Congress, 100th Congress next month in July, and I have different speaking engagements, some workshops, seminars, doing some writing. I have to get what's in my soul out on print. In print, that's important, because I'm an idea person. When it's all said and done, the reason why it comes so frequently and so fast, I feel like Neo in the Matrix, when the plug in the back of the brain.
Yes, sir.
It comes so fast, I have to catch it. So actually stopping to write is something that's really important to me. It's something that I'm taking time this year to do, and I'm probably going to take a vacation just to get things out, because I can write extremely fast when I just sit down and do nothing else other than that. I just have to catch it. Yeah. Outside of that, I'm looking to grow. I'm here and dedicated to helping Reverend Wells grow this ministry, not only back to where it was when Reverend Coleman had people standing, on the walls, literally, 3,500 people on a Sunday. But I want to help it grow beyond that. I believe in what this ministry has done for me personally. And for me, to have Christ Universal succeed matters to me. To have the Universal Foundation for Better Living and anything that is connected to Reverend Coleman's ministry and legacy matters to me. I love that woman more than I can ever say. And I've told people this often. I can never give back to her what she gave me. I can only pass it on. What I mean by that is she helped me discover God in me.
Yeah.
So what I do is help other people do the same now.
Gaylon, everybody that I know that has ever been touched by Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman has said pretty much exactly what you just said. What a statement that is about that woman and what she brought to the world. That's exciting. I mean, it's incredible. But I want to touch on something that you mentioned, that you're working on growing up to the level that Christ Universal Temple was, when Dr. Johnny was there. And I work with I volunteer with an international New Thought organization, and they run an online directory of New Thought centers, and they put up whatever they can find anywhere in the world. It's a resource for people to use. And they just recently did a review of California. And this is something that touches me. It's near and dear to my heart. Since 2011 to 2015, we've lost 50 New Thought centers in the state of California. Across the country, about 17% statistically throughout the states. Now, that's not germane to New Thought. We're seeing that in all the the major religious organizations. The Pew poll has just recently issued some numbers on what I call old thought. But the thing is that right now, in this time, this is New Thought's time with what's going on in the world, learning to empower ourselves, create this thing. But we've got to take our message to that younger generation, and that's where I don't see a strong enough push within New Thought. What's coming out of your group there in Chicago?
Well, that's one of the things that we're emphasizing. Obviously, it takes planning and structure, et cetera. Obviously, I have a younger look. Reverend Wells has a younger look. We're not babies now. Yeah. I'll be 43 at the end of this month. He's 45. But in New Thought, that seems to be young.
It is. That is true.
Yeah. So, but the main thing is right now working with planning. We're still working with, and like any other church.
Mm-hmm. Hold that.
Making sure.
Hold that thought, Gaylon. We're going to cut away to our last break. I want to finish off with this, reaching the millennials and stuff before we close out the show. So we'll be back in just a minute or two with Reverend Gaylon McDowell from Christ Universal Temple.
Open house this Saturday in the Tower District. This house is located at 1244 North Echo, 3 houses north of Olive in the heart of the Tower District. Stop by this Saturday between 1 and 3 p.m. or call 486-6758 or go to MikeBriggsProperties.com. See all Tower District listings by all agents at TowerDistrictProperties.com.
MPS Security, Fresno's premier private security and investigative services. They exceed expectations. Call them at 559-478-7747.
We are conveniently located across from Bullard High School on North Palm Avenue in Fig Garden. Morales Wellness Dental offers quality-oriented family dental care and service in a personalized and comfortable manner. As you enter our office, you'll always be greeted by our warm, caring dental team and will be invited to relax in our finely appointed lobby. We have 7 patient treatment suites that feature monitors for your in-op entertainment and diagnostic review. Our comfortable hygienist suites are the ideal setting for regular cleanings and checkups. As safety is our utmost priority, all instruments are put through our modern sterilization center. Furthermore, our sedation suite offers you both comfort and peace of mind during advanced dental procedures. And for your privacy, we have 2 separate patient consultation offices. Take the worry out of your next dental visit by calling us today. Experience our commitment to excellence, respect, and honesty at Morales Wellness Dental.
Whether your wedding is rustic, vintage, formal, traditional, casual, elegant, or just a little outside the box, black tie and bridal lace has everything you need to dress your entire wedding party. Are you currently shopping for solar? Give Solar Negotiators a call. You see, what they do is they fill downtime at a reduced rate to make sure that you always get the best deal. Don't find out later that you could have bought your solar for thousands of dollars less. Call Solar Negotiators.
If you're looking to go solar with confidence and have someone represent you in this transaction, give Solar Negotiators a call at 844-OWN-SOLAR or visit SolarNegotiators.com.
Looking for a travel agent? Look no further. Bianca Echeveste can make your travel dream a reality, even on a budget. Visit ilovemytravelbiz.com or call Bianca at 559-284-2217.
Marty, the concrete guy, specializes in all types of concrete work. Contact Marty at theconcreteguy.com or call him at 559-718-9952. Located on Avenue 9, Toca Madera Winery's beautiful tasting room overlooks undulating hills covered with majestic vines. A perfect place to taste wine. Call Toca Madera Winery at 474-8286 or visit them on the web at tocamadeirawinery.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back to New Thought Talk. My name is Rev. Steve Walling. I'm the senior minister at the Spiritual Awareness Center out in Madera. My guest today is Reverend Gaylon McDowell from Christ Universal Temple in Chicago. And I'm rushing through this because I want to cover this stuff right before we went to break. We were talking about the young people, getting them into New Thought philosophy. And I also mentioned that, this is our time, and we're seeing a lot of disaffected, what I'll call old thought people that have been beat up by dogma and teachings that don't resonate with them nowadays. The youth that's got their nose stuck in Xboxes and cell phones and computers and stuff. These are the people that, reaching these people, I believe, is critically important. And you were talking about what was going on there at Christ Universal Temple, Gaylon.
Well, one of the things that Reverend Wells created was an initiative to reach out to what he called younger business-minded people. So we created a ministry called Professionals Reaching Out. And we have power brunches where we ask them to invite people that they know, and we have a brunch, and then the people have an opportunity to ask the minister questions around a particular subject. How do you relate these New Thought principles in their businesses, in their jobs, in their lives, etc., so they can see the practicality of it. So I think the newer generation of people know that what they learned from their grandmama might not necessarily been as practical as it was presented. And if they can't see a usage for it, they don't deal with it. I mean, they will dismiss it swiftly.
Yes.
So, we, like many other people, are working with developing our youth ministry. We have a Sunday school, like many people, a children's church. We have a teenage group. We have male mentoring. We have female mentoring. We have, praise dance group for our young ladies, trying to find as many ways that we can get them involved as possible. But we have more work to do because it's an uphill task. I won't say battle, but it is an uphill task. I do think that a lot of that has to do with the parents as well, because, for instance, I have an almost 16-year-old. But, I take the time, and I know I'm a minister, but you still have to take the time. And when opportunities come up, you actually start talking about truth to children about things that are relative. I went and picked my daughter up from school today. She has one more day of school in Chicago. And she asked me, Dad, what was your opinion about the man who shot up that church?
Yeah.
And I posted something on Facebook about it earlier today. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, let me let you read what I posted first, then we can talk about it. That gave me an opportunity to introduce truth into something that's relative. What ends up happening is people are doing with everything else. Have the school teacher give my children morals and ethics or whatever. Teach your children truth. Sit down and read the book, put the book in their hands and say, hey, read this, then we'll talk about it. But you have to have read it first.
Exactly.
Stop giving the responsibility. So what ends up happening in New Thought churches is we'll raise a kid on the perimeter of New Thought. We really don't integrate it into their souls. We don't talk about it. They don't understand what the philosophy is really about. So when they go away to college, they get connected to other religious groups, or they become, I don't want to say agnostic, but a part of the Church Alumni Association. They just don't feel a connection to it. So when you go to sometimes these other churches, they have 3 and 4 generations of people, family members at a church. In New Thought, you see the same cycle of people who tend to be retirement age coming to a church over and over again. Whereas my mother brought me here, I'm here, my sister's here, and my daughter's here. Mm-hmm. Now, that's how you grow church, okay? But she has to be connected to it. She has to have friends here. She has to have relationships here that matter. This is a relational thing. It's not just a thing about the one philosophy over another. And it has to make sense. You talk to them about why you don't believe hell is a place, why you don't believe in, blood atonement and other things and to smack down God. But it has to be practical.
Yeah.
You talk to them about how do you work with your mind. One other thing, Steve.
Yeah.
That's one group. The other group is, as you talked about, the people who are disenchanted with fundamentalists and ex-Catholics and things of that nature. New Thought still uses, because New Thought at its root is Christian metaphysics.
Yes.
So what we have the opportunity to do is be more than, and I'm saying just as not as an insult, more than just a liberal Christian movement. Some people, we take all of the fundamentalist beliefs out of Christianity, and now you just got don't worry, be happy Christianity. No, when New Thought is taught properly, it still has the power because we can metaphysically and allegorically still present scripture without invalidating a person's intelligence.
That's true. And, you know,
Third group,
go ahead.
Quickly, is what I call the Oprah crowd. New Thought has to get. They show up, they listen to Marianne Williamson, Neil Donald Walsh, Gary Zukoff, and all these people on Super Soul Sunday. These people are buying these books up like crazy, and New Thought churches are empty. That means that we have to be better at presenting our message, just like anyone else. Train our people how to preach it and teach it. We present New Thought like it's some lecture at a college. This is have passion and power in it because it can transform people's lives. You can't get excited about it. Why should they get excited?
I'm laughing because, you know, it's been a topic of conversation. Someone needs to talk to Oprah. She needs to change the time of her show. Out here on the West Coast, you know, people get, well, I go to church, man. I get up, get my cup of coffee, plop myself down on the couch, and I got Oprah Super Soul Sunday. You know, why didn't she do it on a Thursday or something? I mean, there's good, don't get me wrong. She brings a great message to the world. That's true. But you're right. We've got to pull the people off the couch and get them in because, you know, there is something about the energy. I mean, not only do we have the power that we teach, this empowering message, but when we bring our people together in that once a week or maybe sometimes a couple times a week environment where you've got all these people and they're focused on, you know, this power, this consciousness, this ability to demonstrate and create and to empower their lives to something so much better than what they're experiencing. It's phenomenal. And it's catching, and they get it, and that it's like that. I hate to use a wildfire metaphor because we've got fires going on out here in the West, but it really is fire. Once it grows to a certain level, it builds on itself. That energy, and it grows and it grows, and that's what You're right. In our churches, in our centers, building that fire so that energy grows and grows and creates a wind that expresses far out beyond the doors of our centers and churches. And that's our message, you know, that we've got to get to the people to see them come into the center. And Gaylon, our time is gone. Jeez. I have really enjoyed this, my friend, and I am looking forward. We will do this again for sure as we can get our schedules together. Thank you so much for your time. I'll touch base with you in a day or two. I'd like to talk with you about a couple things when we got time. Thank you again. I know you got a busy schedule, so blessings, my friend, and you make it a great life like you are. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.
Bless you. Okay, it's that time. Boy, what a show. Is he not just an incredible fellow? Anyway, like I like to do towards the end of each show, if you've been watching this show, you have a couple of resources online. You can go to newthoughtlibrary.com where you will find Charles Fillmore's books, a lot of them there. You'll find some stuff by Ernest Holmes and early pioneers in New Thought, just incredible stuff to read. Charles Lawson, who's a name that many of you don't know, but he was a major influence in Ernest Holmes' life. William Walker Atkinson, Ralph Waldo Trine, and the list goes on and on. Those books are there, the teaching's there. As Reverend McDowell was saying, there is power, there is presence, and you have the ability to create in your life just so many miracles that are beyond miracles for the average person to look at, but it is your truth demonstrated. That is the truth of you. That is the truth of who you are. So avail yourself of those resources. And also, I mentioned earlier in the show, if you happen to be out in the middle of somewhere that you don't have a center near you, or even if you're somewhere and you're just not familiar with a church or New Thought center around you, you can go to findacenter.com and look up in the region that's nearest you, the state or country or whatever, and there will be contact information. You can reach out if it's close enough that you can visit. You can go there and visit. If not, you can get in touch with them, and they'll reach out back to you, because that's what we do in the New Thought family. You know, it's a great show. Gosh, winds up so fast. I look forward to seeing you again when we meet for New Thought Talk. I am the Reverend Steve, the Senior Minister, the Spiritual Awareness Center, located out in beautiful downtown Madera. As you go through this week, remember, my friends, that the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, and the power of God protects you. Those are truths that you can live with. The presence of God watches over you, because no matter where you are, no matter where you are in the world, in your life, God is with you. the presence of God watches over you. So it is. Have a great week. I'll see you when we come back. Blessings. Bye-bye.
Open house this Saturday in the Tower District. This house is located at 1244 North Echo, 3 houses north of Olive in the heart of the Tower District. Stop by this Saturday between 1 and 3 p.m. or call 486-6758 or go to MikeBriggsProperties.com. See all Tower District listings by all agents at TowerDistrictProperties.com.
This segment is brought to you by Jonathan Rooker of the Law Office of Nuttall & Coleman. We help good people during tough times. Call 441-0441.
Black MP makes up for nutrients lost to filtering, pasteurization, and processing, and it provides the probiotics and humic and fulvic minerals that can lead to optimized functioning of all the body's cells and systems, increased energy levels, and overall enhanced health and well-being. A scoop of Black MP in 16 ounces of water once or twice a day can help you achieve your health and performance goals. For more information, go to our website, blackmp.net, or call us at 559-799-9879.
A reverse mortgage can help your money last longer and help you leave a larger estate for your heirs. To learn how, call Patrick Furlong at 559-213-7767 or visit Patrick Furlong, ReverseMortgageDirect.com.
No matter what you drive, sooner or later you're going to need tires. That means you. It's Wheel King, your custom wheel and tire headquarters for over 20 years. Hundreds of custom wheels and tires in stock all the time. Shocks, brake jobs, alignments, and lowering done the right way. The King has got you covered.
The tire wheel, see the King. No one else can get attention.
Call 225-KING, Blackstone, just off the Shaw. It's Wheel King.
Looking for work? Tired of minimum wage? For as low as $200, become certified as a forklift driver at the Certified Forklift Training Center. Call 559-325-8097 or visit cftc.net.
At Loss Prevention and Safety Consulting, we collaborate with business owners to protect their profits from theft, fraud, and other financial misappropriations. Call us today for a free initial consultation and put your profits back to work for you.
You enter this door with expired tags. Beyond is another dimension, a dimension of regulations, a dimension of long waits. You have reached the registration zone. What looks like an ordinary shop is actually Mitchell Smog, located in the heart of the Tower District, a few minutes from the DMV. Mitchell Smog offers your vehicle a STAR-certified smog inspection. So remember Mitchell Smog when you need to pass through the registration zone.
CentralValleyTalk.com